everyone, Erin here from Erin's Amazon Reviews and my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for following me on this channel. If you haven't followed me yet, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button so that you can stay in tune with the different Amazon reviews that I will be doing or have done already. So I thought today I would do something a little bit different and take you through some of our camping area, doing building by building, as this is where a lot of my Amazon reviews end up or where I end up doing them. So it's always kind of fun to see a behind the scenes. And are we actually using these Amazon products that I review on this channel? So for starters, this is our pavilion. So this is the second building that we actually built down here in our camping area. And behind me, you can kind of actually see our little water. This actually started off as an irrigation pond for our dairy farm. And now that we're no longer milking cows, even though we still do crops, this area has actually developed in the last 15 years into our camping area, which we enjoy with our 4 children. So now I'll give you a quick tour around this building and the different Amazon products that I have reviewed, and I'll leave some links below in case you would like to possibly add them to your area or send them to a friend. Thanks so much. So starting with the outdoor cooking. For starters, this year I added in these wood tiles, which have really kind of made it kind of nice in this area, just so that we have something a little bit firmer to walk on. I also, a few years ago, integrated these gray cabinets, and so they actually hold all of our kitchen, baking, frying, all of those different pots and pans and things. My other favorite thing is this pizza oven. So it actually sits on our 3-burner, and so I do cinnamon rolls, and this morning I did baked French toast. We've done pizzas, of course. I really like the pizza oven. And the 3-burner is a little bit different than traditional burners. You actually regulate this burner by that little red knob on your propane tank. And so I always just leave my burners on this setting that I typically use them, and we just turn on the propane tank and light the burner. So you actually control this burner through that red dial. So it's a little bit different than your traditional 3-burners, but it's worked great. It holds our pizza oven, which was its purpose. My other favorite tool is the Blackstone Griddle, and we've actually had this for about 4 years now, and so it's actually holding up really well. It needs to be scraped off, but it's definitely everything that we cook on, and so we just love this. And I remember back in the day, this huge skillet, and you can kind of see it in comparison to this griddle. This is what we used to cook on over a fire. So it's crazy to think that we've actually, grown to this. And I actually just cover it with this silicone pad, and that has really helped kind of just keep it cleaner from any, bugs or rodents possibly running on it. Next are my propane heaters. These definitely help keep us warm on those cooler days. And I did decide to get a shield for this propane heater this time, just to kind of protect some of those plastic curtains that you can see behind you, and just to kind of help reflect that heat. Another thing that I just added this summer were these fans. So it's a light fan. Actually, the remote works for both, so it's kind of nice, but it just helps blow that heat down in the cooler days, but then also just circulating the air down here on these warmer days like today. The other really big item that a lot of people have commented on are these plastic curtains. And so in the winter months, I actually wrap this in greenhouse plastic as it's exposed on 2 sides. And I can again leave the links below, but this has worked really well. We can just drop these plastic curtains if it's raining outside or it's a little windy and it gets a little cool in here. Otherwise, once the winter months hit and we have all of our snow, I actually just wrap it in the greenhouse plastic. The other thing that I've added in here are the screens. And so this is just a 10 by 10 pergola screen that we hooked up to a pipe. And so you can you can see the clips on there, so it just clips to this pipe, really handy. And then for behind that, you could actually just do a screen if yours is exposed, kind of like ours is. Another item from Amazon, of course, are the stools. And so this is actually a shelf that my father-in-law had built for our son's room. And we actually use it now for like the silverware and to store different things. So we just put a butcher block on top of it from Menards and then picked up the 4 bar stools. So those are super handy. Some fun games that we like to play, of course, are Ticket to Ride, and now we just recently got the Go-opoly, and of course Monopoly is a favorite, Skipo is a favorite. Then last in here are blankets that we like to use for movie night or just to cover our couches if our puppies are, have wet paws so they're not leaving sand everywhere. But these are super nice for, like I said, movie night or just to cover up. Then, if you heard me mention movie night, we have actually installed a pull-down screen that we can pull down, and every Saturday night we have an outdoor movie. And so just recently, or I should say last summer, we switched to this model, and it works great. The sound is great, the picture quality is great. We don't have to wait for it to be really dark before we can start playing the movie. It has a remote. So I can always share that link below, but otherwise that's definitely a favorite in this building as well. Other fun kitchen items have been these fans, which once everybody has gotten their food, we just turn on these fans and they help keep the flies off. I love this coffee pot, the bigger one. With it having like the thermos, that has been really nice for just brewing hot water if we want hot chocolate or hot tea, but then in the morning we can start up our coffee. This little maker is actually the one for my cabin, and so I enjoy that if it's just me down here. And then of course the crock pot is nice for if you want to just have something cooking all day instead of feeling like you have to cook in here. I hope you enjoyed this little quick tour of our pavilion area and where we do a lot of our outdoor cooking and some of the items that we like to use in here. And I hope you'll join me for the next building.